What up, my fellow Knicks fans? This is your guy Marcellus Ease, and don't panic quite yet. Now, in the second round series between the Knicks and the Pacers will be a war of nutrition. As the Pacers love to play fast pace, they have a lot deeper roster when it comes to guys coming off the bench. Meanwhile, the Knicks are almost their Achilles heel. They like to play slower. They love to attack the offensive boards, while the Pacers are one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. But then again, the Pacers love that up-tempo style, executing off of turnovers, while the Knicks don't really turn the ball over as they're a disciplined team. But from time to time, the transition defense does look a little shaky. So things are definitely shaping up for this series to be kind of a series of small cuts and bruises. But I'm not going to say no more. Let's just get to it.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stay down here and you never fuck around, you'll never find out.
Alcohol, right?
So to start up this matchup, the Pacers are trying to hide the defensive inefficiencies of Tyrese Haliburton. And in doing so, he was pretty much guarding Josh Hart. And from the very early moments, he was able to cook, scoring 9 points in the first quarter. He was assisting, getting blocks, and pretty much opening the floor up for Jalen Brunson. All right, so one thing about Tyrese Haliburton, he does not like to dribble in tight spaces. I mean, he could have just kept the ball low and kept going here. But you see how he picked it up? And now he's going to make a pass. That's normally what he does, though. Tight spaces, he does not like dribbling in between it. He gets real uncomfortable and always picks up his dribble. Now, things kind of get interesting off of Tyrese coming off this pick. He kind of hesitates. Is he double guessing himself? And if you also notice, his shot is a long, slow windup. And then right here, once again, one-on-one with Hartenstein. I'm wondering if Hartenstein's mobility is throwing off Tyrese, as he's still not able to take advantage. So right here, Tyrese coming off of this screen, one-on-one with Hartenstein. And look how quickly he gives up his dribble. Once again, didn't even see it play out. Already looking confused. So he gets the ball back, and once again, he can't make anything happen. Can't shake him off. So right here, early in transitions, one of the rare few times we've seen Brunson matched up on Tyrese defensively. So Tyrese has the weakest Knick defender on him on the empty side, and he just gives up his dribble real fast. And Donte DiVincenzo all playoff long, his defense has been on point. First, we've seen it in Maxey, especially in Game 6. And now with McConnell straight hot off the bench, man. Donte sticks with him. He provides a block right here. He's done a great job on Tyrese so far, and now he's trying to put out that fire in McConnell. Now Brunson right here coming off of the screen, one-on-one with Nembhard. Are not doubling right here. Brunson's clearly a problem for Nembhard right now. But there's no double coming from any of the Pacers players. Very interesting and different look versus what we've seen from the 76ers. So right here, Jalen Brunson gets Nembhard into foul trouble. Once again, no double team from the Pacers. Brunson making them pay. Brunson in this series is going to have a much easier time. He's just straight up cooking Nembhard off glass and everything. Now with Nembhard in foul trouble, we're going to see Turner not allow Brunson to make that turn. He hedges real hard. So now Hartenstein is wide open. Turner was right there on the hedge. And good pass by Brunson, but Hartenstein is not able to convert. And we're going to see the same thing play out in the following possession, where now they have Naismith on Brunson. You see now they're not allowing him to make the turn. Miles Turner fully commits on that hedge. Look at Hartenstein, he's wide open. And shot clock violation. So no matter who you put on Brunson, he is going to execute. Now he's going to go to the empty side. Everyone's going to go to the weak side. Multiple shooters. Look at Josh Hart. He pivots. Now he has Naismith on this empty side, and he's just going to take him one-on-one and execute. That's what happens when you have a superstar. Get him for the goaltend. Once again, Naismith on Brunson, and no matter who you have on him, he's going to make you pay. putting Naismith on skates right there. Almost getting the N1. The Pacers, once again, Brunson coming off this screen. They don't double team at all. Have a few guys stunt in. And there's no double team at all. Brunson gets McConnell to pay. So with Tyrese Haliburton being really well defended by Donte DiVincenzo and just being passive throughout that first half, the Pacers really got their spark from their bench, scoring 27 out of their 55 first half points, being led by TJ McConnell, who led all Pacers scorers with 10 points by half. But they got scoring contributions from guys like Obi Toppin with the quick transition scoring, and also Isaiah Jackson, who really threw the Knicks off with his speed at center. But TJ McConnell, despite being the leading scorer for the Pacers, also provided decent defensive coverage on Jalen Brunson, as Hart and Naismith was getting cooked all throughout that first half. When it came to the Knicks bench scoring, it was pretty much non-existent, as no one was able to get anything going, and that's because they weren't really set up to make that happen due to the fact that Tibbs was playing Josh Hart, Miles McBride, Precious, and OG. So in that lineup, to facilitate the scoring, it's really guys like Josh Hart and Miles McBride, which really isn't saying much when you're talking about guys trying to set up your offense. But looking at the substitution situation, with 3 minutes left in the first quarter, Tyrese Haliburton was substituted out. So Tibbs, being opportunistic as he is, substituted Brunson in the last 2 minutes of the first. And the Knicks went with a lineup with not too many scorers. We had McBride, Josh Hart, Precious, OG, and Mitchell Robinson. So even without any scores on the floor, the Knicks were able to maintain themselves, scoring 6 points within that time frame on 50% shooting with no turnovers. And the Pacers on the other side scored 7 points only on 1 turnover. And going into the second quarter, Tyrese continued to sit out the first 4 minutes. Meanwhile, Brunson checked right back in, only getting 2 minutes of rest. And you would think the Knicks would be able to do some damage, but they really didn't. The Pacers scored 9 points on 44% shooting, while the Knicks only scored 5 points in that time frame on 33% shooting before Haliburton checked back in. So in totality, in between those substitutions, the Knicks were outscored 16-11. Now with Hart on the ball, with the defense on Tyrese, so we're going to see them run a lot of actions to get him open. It's going to be a screen by Naismith. Miles Turner is going to give him a dribble handoff, and he's going to roll, knowing that Hartenstein is going to hedge to make sure that Tyrese Haliburton doesn't turn. So it's a screen into the dribble handoff, and now we see Miles Turner roll. Hartenstein hedges. Josh Hart normally supposed to pick up, but now he's trapped. It's a 2-on-1 right here. 2-on-1 for Josh Hart. We see them perfectly executed. So one way the Knicks can make plays like this more difficult is for Hartenstein to fully commit and hedge a lot harder, because we already know Tyrese already is going to give up his dribble, and when he makes his passes, he loves to jump and then make the pass. So that's one way we could make it a lot more difficult for him. See, had Hartenstein got into his face, it would have been harder for him to jump and make that pass. See, had Hartenstein hedge right here, hands up and hedge. See how Tyrese jumped and made that pass? That's how he always passes the ball. Always off his feet. You could put him in a compromising position right there, or just force him to reset and kick it out. So since Tyrese doesn't really have a tight handle on his dribble, I'm going to have to watch the off-ball movements. As right here, the Pacers kind of run a double screen action right here to try to get him open for 3. One of the very few shots he had all game with that slow-ass windup. But again, he's not really dribbling himself open, and I'm still shocked by a lot of the praises that this guy has gotten throughout this season, especially in the beginning of the year where most players are kind of getting the wind back up in their lungs. Everyone's trying to catch up to the pace and just going through the early season motions, trying to get back in form. And the praise that Tyrese has gotten, this is really not living up to it. From what I'm seeing here in game 1 and also in their previous series against the Bucks, Tyrese wasn't exactly put to any type of test in that series. Now the Pacers in most of that third quarter spent the time making Naismith the ball handler, bringing the ball up the court. Now check out Donte right here as he pesters Tyrese Haliburton and his inability to keep the ball secure. And right here he forces him to give it up. With the Knicks up 1, you're going to see Donte making Tyrese real uncomfortable. Look how much space he has right there. He's wide open. Why the hell pass this up? This right here in the playoffs is where superstars get their name from. Not necessarily just through regular season praise, like we've seen Tyrese have this season. Now in a very big possession right here in this dribble handoff, we're going to see why Tyrese does not like to dribble in tight spaces. Look how far away the ball is from his body. OG just snags that shit. You know, Donte at this point has Tyrese shaken to the core. Look at these two crazy passes he makes. This cross-court high pass is already one mistake. You're going to see him get the ball back. And another. He expected Turner to make that roll, but it just didn't happen. But yeah, Tyrese is completely off balance right now. So not only Donte was playing tremendous defense on Haliburton, he also was putting in work in that third quarter by getting 15 points, going 3 or 4 from long distance, as he was on fire, shooting 85% from the field overall. And usually third quarters is where the Knicks find themselves having a sluggish start. But hey, Donte kept things in check on both ends of the floor. So when it comes to substitutions in the second half, when the Pacers had subbed out Tyrese Haliburton with about 3 minutes left in the third quarter, the Pacers were able to maintain themselves, scoring 10 points on 80% shooting with no turnovers, while the Knicks scored 9 points on 2 turnovers. And by the time the fourth quarter started and Jalen Brunson subbed out for the first 2 minutes, within that time frame, the Pacers were able to go on a run, even though Tyrese Haliburton was yet to check back in. They scored 10 points on 0 turnovers, while the Knicks only scored 3 points in that 2-minute time frame in the beginning of the fourth quarter. So when it comes to the non-Brunson minutes versus the non-Tyrese minutes, the Pacers had the upper hand 36-23. Now in the third quarter here, taking a look at some of Brunson's looks, we're going to see Tyrese have poor rotational skills right here. Nembhard rotates to cover Brunson. That's Tyrese Q to cover Hart, but he doesn't do it. Now for Jalen Brunson, he gets a little stunt for Miles Turner, but no full commitment, as the Pacers are not really a team that's really good at rotating defensively. But we're going to see multiple stunts once Brunson kind of gets into his sweet spot. You see Tyrese right there stunting, but never fully committing. You know, for the Pacers, they're going to have to pick their poison between Nembhard and Naismith, as Nembhard completely gets burned right here. Easy money. So for the Pacers, they may have to call up TJ McConnell, because look at Nembhard get burned right here completely. Brunson just missed it. So with Brunson cooking Nembhard, now we see the Pacers sent reinforcements and the veteran TJ McConnell staying close to Brunson's hip, fighting off those screens. But check out these long, lazy strides. It gives Mitch enough time to get open. And with Brunson, is not just about his scoring, it's also about his playmaking ability. Now with the vet TJ McConnell right on Brunson, we're going to see the Knicks throw multiple screens up high. Mitch is throwing the second screen right here. And now Brunson gets to take advantage of the Pacers not really being that good on the switching. It's right here. He catches the flat-footed Miles Turner off balance, and also Pascal Siakam being a little late on the help. Now I'm not going to lie, McConnell might be their best perimeter defender right here as he strips Brunson. But oh no. I know OB ain't come back to NYC thinking he could be styling on us. Oh, I get it. Ain't nothing like that NYC love. If I get you, Obi, I see you. So right here, Brunson tries to get the switch on Tyrese, but it doesn't work. He's one-on-one with Nembhard and once again burns him for the goaltend. Now Brunson coming off this pick. I'm surprised right here. Nobody steps up. Naismith doesn't step up. Even with Josh Hart going to the far side corner. Tyrese doesn't step in, doesn't stunt. Pascal stunts in a little bit, but doesn't fully commit. And Nemhead is one-on-one on the island with Brunson. Now later on in this nice little pin down screen, ooh, Donte got him good right here. He got Naismith good. Naismith is really forced on Donte at this point, because Brunson is about to go downhill on Tyrese. But Tyrese doesn't want the smoke so bad that he bails on this. This is a bad bail right here. Ooh, he just completely bails, and Naismith is not going to recover on that. Let's check this out one more time. Check out Tyrese. He's going to bail right there. Why? Naismith has no chance to recover on that. Yeah, once again, right here with Nembhard, there's nothing you could really do right here. Stars make their names in the playoffs. Wow, what a difference in this series thus far. The spacing is just unbelievable. 2-point game. About 3 minutes left in the game, and look how much space they gave Brunson to operate in. I'm surprised he didn't drop 50 on these guys. Now the Knicks down 2, about 1:20 left. It's all about the execution by your stars. Brunson gets to his spot and knocks down the shot. Once again, y'all, it's all about the execution. A minute left, tie game, and I'm not gonna lie, Brunson got away with this one right here. This was a sloppy pass. It should have never been a kickball. The defender just happened to run into the ball. It just kind of occupied his space. But the Knicks, they got lucky on that. As you can see, the Pacers right here, this is their bag. They would have got a fast break. Look, they got 4 heads out here ready to go. This is what they live off of. Now, once again, towards the empty side, you got Brunson one-on-one making his way to the middle. And look at Naismith. Interesting. Now the Pacers decide to creep in, leaving Donte, who was already hot in that third quarter, with 15 points, leaving him with enough space to knock down this shot. Now the Pacers cut the lead to 1, and it's all about the execution once again. Take a look at Jalen Brunson. Kind of catches the ball around the corner in an awkward spot. And when he puts the ball down, yeah, Nembhard kicks that. So it's out of bounds. The Knicks will get the ball back. But Brunson was kind of in a tight situation right there. And where's his guys for support? Josh Hart and OG were the last 2 in the backcourt. So again, here we go. Another fucking inbound play. And Brunson, ooh, a little miscommunication right there. And ooh, it's an awkward spot once again. 2 defenders. Look at his support once again on the opposite side. Yeah, it's definitely off of Brunson right there. So the Pacers get the ball back down by 1. Brunson is substituted for McBride for defense. And right here, ooh, a little questionable call right here. I'm not gonna lie, man, these refs, they gotta let these games play out, but good acting job by Donte right here. Good acting job to draw the offensive foul. But for both of these teams, when you have these close games going down the stretch, you leave yourself open to these type of wish-washy ass calls, man. It could go either way. So after the Nembhard foul, Brunson hits the free throw, and finally, not only the Knicks inbound the ball, but they inbounded to the right person who could justifiably hit these free throws. And after Brunson made the first free throw, I like how the Knicks for a second time quickly huddled up and discussed their plans if Brunson ends up missing the free throw, of how they would defend the possibly game time possession from the Pacers. So big time lessons were learned from game 5 against the 76ers, and the execution when closing out these games gets more complicated the deeper you get into the playoffs. So these things do have to be discussed and strategized to a T. But overall in this series, the Knicks will have to stay disciplined and keep their turnovers down. The Pacers make quick points out of any sloppiness. And with the limited depth that the Knicks have on their bench, having just 4 guys in this game alone play over 40 minutes, we're going to need an extra boost from those starters. Guys like Josh Hart definitely came through in game 1. He was everywhere. Almost had a triple-double by the third quarter, just getting blocks, rebounds, assisting, actually challenging Miles Turner to the cup. Very similar to what he did in the previous series going up against Embiid, being one of the few Knick guards to actually challenge him going to the rim. When it comes to the Pacers, in this series, it's going to be a lot easier for the Knicks to get there as they have very little rim protection. And even though their bench dropped 46 points in this game due to the savviness of their veteran guard, TJ McConnell, the Knicks were yet still able to get the upper hand by scoring 121 points still, even with only 3 of those points coming from the bench. But this series may be a war of nutrition because the Knicks, once again, we have limited depth on the team due to injuries. And as it played out in the previous series, we're definitely going to need a role man to step up and carry some of this scoring load for a couple games throughout this series if we want to make quick work of it. Pacers also kept us off the offensive glass, preventing these second chance points that we love to have, but the Knicks were still able to drop over 121 points in this game still. And the way the matchups are set up, Jalen Brunson could surely cook, as the Pacers have not yet found an answer to defend him out in the perimeter. But we'll see how it plays out for game 2. Until next time, you fellas stay safe. Peace.